Hello, 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 everyone. Attempt number 2. Sorry about this. I'm going to try to keep the live stream going, but primary internet having problems, backup internet having problems, power keeps going up and down, and it's going up and down frequently enough, the generator won't kick on. So, we will still see. Even my battery backup that runs the computers is having issues. That's just the kind of day it is. Yeah, even my live stream has had enough. I've had enough of these markets today, too. Damn you, Fed, want to see a 9.6 CPI print tomorrow. I don't think you're going to get that. Hey, Christoph. Hey, Abraham. Good afternoon, Davey. Let's see. There's a lot going. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Wavy. Hey, Sasha. Again, sorry for that. Let me just get through this, and then we'll bring Bob on. Again, big thing tomorrow. Remember, 7:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Core inflation. Core inflation, big number tomorrow. Then we got all the crude stuff. Only one Fed speaker tomorrow. Yay. Yay for us. See mega caps leading the sort of keeping the Nasdaq up this afternoon. Financials get some mixed, but then a hit with the banks. Consumer defensive pulling back. Oil was sort of but everything's just going haywire today. Oil mixed bag. Fed watch still, that's 50 basis points and still in negative gamma territory. By the way, even with the problems, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting that like button. Longer term members, keep up the comments and liking the videos. After the close, well, SoFi got leaked earlier, came out earlier, so we had that. Then stuff. Coinbase was an absolute disaster. Roblox again, not good. Kathy's. I can't wait to see ARK tomorrow. That's gonna be very interesting. And tomorrow before the open, we got not a lot of market moving. It's all gonna be off the Fed announcement. With that, I'm just gonna bring on Bob. Hopefully we can get in that. Thank you, Lauren, for the $50 super sticker. Thank you very much. They call the CPI rally, but what were we celebrating? Well, we'll get Bob's side. You got power issues in the U.S. Is that normal? There's power issues around here. That's why I have a whole house backup generator. I mean, just in case when it drops. The problem is when it goes off for a second, comes back on, goes off for a second, the generator needs 5 seconds before it kicks in. And then I have problems with the battery backup that runs the computers for some reason. It's fantastic. Hello, George. So we'll see. Let me bring Bob on with the. See now we don't even have TradingView just crashed. This is absolutely fantastic. What a day it is. I'm going to let Bob come on. Let the magic Bob button. There's the magic Bob button.
The Bob button works.
The Bob button works. See, I got my fancy tie-dye. Look at that. Look at that one.
Is anyone here a fan of the updated Cobra Kai and all that shit, the Karate Kid stuff?
I watched the first season.
So I have my
Eagle Fang Karate. There you go.
Eagle Fang Karate shirt on.
Before we got a very important question. Lauren, what do you 33,720, but that's not the real question. Bob, you buying this fake rally?
Well, I'm not buying it if it's a fake rally, Wavy.
Wavy wants to know if you're buying the fake rally.
No. I don't look. We've talked about this about a million times. I don't buy dips hoping for a rally, and we have to see bottoming, and we haven't seen that yet. I'm still calling for a medium-term bottom. I am. It may take another trip down to the lows, in which case we'd likely extend the lows if we made another trip down there. But I'm not predicting the day of a medium-term bottom. I just think it's in our very near future. No, I haven't bought anything, nor have I asked Mike if I can buy anything.
We do have a short-term potential double bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, again, I'm not, I need confirmation. Seriously. We need confirmation. I'm calling for it fundamentally. So look, Raphael Bostic's not a voting member, right? But Raphael Bostic, I feel, echoed what the Fed is going to start saying soon, especially if the pressure continues. They're going to start saying, Raphael Bostic, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said that, we might have to back off and see what the first few rate hikes effect is on the market. That's what I think is going to happen. And I've talked about this probably the last 3 live streams, Mike, where I think that's what's going to drive the actual medium term rally, but it's not going to be enough because it's not going to fend off inflation. So you're going to have a Fed that's probably going to back off for fear of asset repricing, which we've gotten a lot of it. I suspect we need a move of down 20% in the S&P and the Dow first, which we don't have yet, 20% from the all-time highs. We don't have that yet, so I suspect that'll be a big part of it. But we already got it from Raphael Bostic. Now, Christopher Waller is a voting member, and I want to caution you guys about blaming a Fed governor for why your trading didn't work out, because that Fed governor doesn't look at your trades, just for the record. He's not
They don't?
saying,
What?
no,
They're not
he's not
watching
saying,
my trade.
I'm really going to screw up Waka Waka's trades today by saying something I'm really gonna get him today.
No, they're just out to get me, not Waka Waka. They're just monitoring everything I do.
Yeah, I just kind of want to get you guys in the habit of saying, well, that's just the market moved. That's what happens. Doesn't matter what drove it. It really doesn't. By the way, if the market isn't vulnerable to a sell-off, no matter what they say, it's not going to happen. If the market is poised for a rally, no matter what they say, it's not going to fall. That the price action is really what gives you sort of the indication that we don't have a bottoming pattern yet. Mike's right. We see a potential double bottom, but it's certainly not there. What do we got there, Mike?
No, I'm just looking at some of Kathy Wood's stuff that reported after hours. Just as like U is down 34%, Roblox is down 5%, and Coin is down 15%. I was just checking the charts because I didn't have a chart with all going on. I wanted to see what that was going to do. Oh, Kathy. Sorry.
Yeah, the first stable coin fell apart. We saw that.
They're trying to backstop it now. They're trying to get people to do a 2-year lockup, and getting. I mean, it's all insane. This stuff's going to unravel at some point, just horribly. It's going to go horribly sideways. Funny on CNBC, they keep saying soft bottom. What's a soft bottom, Bob?
It's an adjusted average of, I don't know what it is.
What's a soft bottom?
So here's what a soft bottom is. It's got to be one of the fast money traders, more likely, that said that. Calling for a soft bottom is a way that they try and call for a bottom without being held responsible for calling for a bottom. Because then they'll come back and they'll say, oh, I called a soft bottom and we rallied, so I was right. And if it goes down from here, well, I called it a soft bottom, meaning, it wasn't necessarily going to hold.
Okay.
It's just a completely ridiculous thing to say.
So can I say I'm calling for a bottom sometime within the next 18 months?
Yes, you will likely be right.
How's that going to help people?
It's not. It's not.
Then I can look back in 18 months, as we hit 2024, and I can say, see, that bottom that happened 12 months ago? That was the bottom I meant. It was a hard bottom, though, not a soft bottom.
By the way, did you watch Joe Biden's inflation speech today?
I did not.
Okay, so I tweeted out that I think I can predict what's going to happen with inflation by watching his speech. In other words, whether the number's going to beat or miss.
So, and I was going to ask you about that. What is the prediction?
It's going to be higher than expected.
It's going to be higher than expected.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Well, No, see, hold on. Wouldn't that be higher than expected? Wouldn't that be because a beat would be lower than expected?
Yes, it's going to be a miss,
It's
but
going to
it's
be a
going to be
miss.
worse than expectations.
So it's going to be worse.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's going to be worse than expectations.
oh. Well,
And the reason I say that is because of all of the deflecting and all of the. By the way, two things. Number one, President Biden's chief economic advisor, and I'm looking for her name right now because I texted this screaming to a bank trader I know. See if I can get her name here. Cecilia Rouse. Okay, wherever she got her economics degree, they should knock on her door and take it away. They should rip it right out of her hands because they basically said that they're going to increase spending to lower costs for. He wants to grow the economy in a more diverse way, which will lower costs for families. At the end of the day, inflation is and always will be a monetary phenomenon. When there is too much money chasing too few goods, inflation eventually develops. Now, you can say that part of this inflation we're seeing now is supply chain driven, but it's a small part of it. It's not a big part of it. It's a small part of it. Yes, supply chain on chips lowered the number of new cars, which lowered the number of used cars, which raised the price on both of those. But it still ends up being more money chasing fewer goods. It's just the fewer goods side of things here. But the energy is all supply driven, but forced supply driven by regulations and canceling of pipelines, et cetera. And then the extra money that went out when it wasn't necessary in the COVID relief packages was insanity. Biden also said in that speech that they've lowered the deficit twice now in two separate quarters, which is going to help with inflation. Well, there's no correlation to that over the last 10 years at all. If you put up an inflation chart and a deficit chart, you'll see no correlation to movement of inflation. Number one. Number two, I hope you're fucking lowering deficits after the way we spent during the pandemic. I certainly hope you're lowering deficits from there. The deficit spending spike during the pandemic was the biggest ever. And now the deficit is falling because we're not spending. And by the way, you could probably thank Joe Manchin for that, by the way. But whatever, those are political comments. I'm not trying to make political statements. I'm saying inflation is going to be worse than expected tomorrow.
And we're lowering deficits, but we're not lowering the debt because we're still running insane deficits. They're just not as insane as before. That's where people keep, oh, deficits are going down. So that's where, but they mistake that for the debt going down. No, the debt's still going up. We're just spending slightly less. Instead of charging 10 grand this month on my credit card, I only charged 9.
Right.
I can't even afford either of them, but
right. Mike, I just sent you a chart. I texted it to you. Oh, wrong person.
Somebody's going, why did you send that, Bob?
Why did you just send me this? I just texted you a deficit chart. And now I'm going to text you an inflation chart. Okay. And then I know we're a little behind here, so I'll let you talk about some of the things you need to talk about.
I don't need to talk about anything besides Kathy Wood chipper.
Okay, so if you look at that big spike right there, that's the pandemic. And then the second one is the pandemic as well. And that first one there, President Biden's taking credit for lowering the deficit there. Yeah, I mean, it's lower for sure, but that's pandemic spending there. It's like, whether you think that was worth it or not, it certainly should not be taken as some sort of achievement. Very much like we created 8 million jobs. No, you didn't. We lost 10 million in the pandemic.
You got 8 million back.
You got 8 million of the 10 back. So here's inflation. I don't know if there's a way for you to put them side by side, but you tell me if there's any direct correlation between the movement in inflation and the movement of the deficit. Absolutely. There's not. I'll just give you a heads up. There's not. All right. It's behind there. I don't know if you can shrink them.
Hold on.
Show. There's no direct correlation. I'll just tell you that much. Okay. If you look at those two, there's no direct correlation between the deficit and inflation at all on these two charts. And both of these go back to about, they go back 20 years. So, yeah, no correlation.
It's just going to be one of these days.
Yeah.
You don't see the correlation there?
No, I don't. I don't. It's ridiculous.
Well, let me see here. Look, it's going up. It's going up.
Yeah.
It was higher. It was higher. It dipped. It dipped, and it's going. It's completely obvious, Bob. That's how we research our technical analysis systems.
Yeah.
Look, the end of the lines are both going up.
Yeah, that's how we do it. So, yeah. Anyway, agree. So that's it. I think I'll probably pop onto the post CPI live stream tomorrow.
We will be here.
Yeah, I've got an 11 o'clock thing I have to do with Ninja Trader, but I think that you guys are 3 hours done already at that point with the live stream.
Yeah,
because you do it at 9 Eastern, right?
9 Eastern.
All right, yeah, so 2 hours. That's fine.
Oh,
yeah. So there's that. But if anyone has any questions for me, I'm happy to answer before I go. I don't think I see any.
Isn't this M2? What were you? That was a CPI. I don't see the M2.
No, I didn't send out an M2 chart.
No.
It probably correlates to M2.
It probably does.
Yeah, but no, that was deficits.
So I'm not seeing. Boy, people are really positive in this chat. Boy, I'm gonna need some medication after running these live streams. This is getting depressed, and I'm bearish. Okay, you should have seen yesterday. People are even more bearish than me. They make me look bullish. And that's what's scary. Any questions for Bob, and then I'll review stuff. And again, we just have potential setups. We don't have anything written in stone. If nothing for Bob, I'll let him go, and we'll have him back on tomorrow morning for the take and wavy again. Waka Waka again. Waka Waka's prediction 9.6.
I like
That's
it.
Year over year. I take it. That's not month over month.
Hey, what does Wavy thinks is a fraud? What does Wavy think is a damn fraud?
Wavy, where's Wavy with the fraud? I don't know. There's been too much. We'll get Lauren, milk to 10, gas to 20. It's a damn fraud. The whole system. We're made to lose. And then here's I actually Kathy needs her have her financial license taken away from her. She has cost people billions.
Wavy, are you talking about the financial system?
I don't.
I think she's talking about the whole world.
I think Wavy wants to burn the whole thing down.
Wavy wants to burn it to the ground.
Wait and start it over. I worked with the government before. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. You ever listen to Thomas Sowell, Wavy?
Oh boy.
Thomas Sowell is my favorite. You can call him an economist, but he's a social commentator. One of my favorite books is Economic Facts and Fallacy by Thomas Sowell. And at the beginning of that book, he talks about having been a Marxist when he got into Harvard, and when he went to University of Chicago, he was still a Marxist. And then he went to work at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and he went to work at the government, and that's when he became a capitalist, because he realized that the whole system was it was set up for people to be lazy and to not change things, basically. So I don't want to say
working at the government.
Yeah, when he worked at the government is when he stopped being a Marxist, because he realized that the government's just made up of people who don't want things to change for them, right? And Economic Facts and Fallacies. It's really good, but his entire thing was he found a new way of looking at the BLS data. So when he requested the data, they asked him why. And he said, I think I've got a better solution to what we're doing right now. And they said to him basically, yeah, but we'll have to fire a couple of people if you do that. And he goes, yeah, but it's more efficient. They said, oh, but we don't want to do that. and that made him walk away from Marxism.
Waka Waka. My brother-in-law works for a large UK. Is that market maker? He said his work already got everything planned for a major crash they expect within 2 months, but said could drag on.
Well, they agree with us.
And liquidity again. Have you been looking? Have you been watching the e-minis? With liquidity is absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. It can't absorb anything. And you want to, that's where you get some of this, like this price action today. I mean, it can't absorb anything.
Yeah, it's drying up quickly.
It's just horrible. That's the one thing that could set up something if we get something really bad for a crash, because you get some major selling stuff and some sell programs kick off all at the same time. There is just no liquidity out there to absorb it. Could be interesting.
All right. I'm going to read something. I'm just going to read something really quick and then I'll go. This is from a friend of mine on Twitter. I saw what looked like termite damage at my house. I looked with a flashlight and I saw a bunch of termites, but I never saw them actually eat the wood. So I still have no idea if they were responsible. Still a mystery. And then he puts, this tweet is not about termites.
Okay.
That's just Wavy will like that one. That's from Jim Iorio, who's also on the podcast. Did you guys all watch the Mike Arnold episode of the podcast? Really, really, really good.
I still like this one, Bob.
I knew the wood. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys.
So yeah, that's the little cat tie-in with Kathy Wood. All right, now I'm in a better mood. What here? I'll answer some of these. Why don't you just plan on being on tomorrow morning and walk us through? Here's the feedback. See, love the new episode with Mike on it. Best episode ever. See, I added best.
I'm not reading that part.
I added best episode ever. Look, podcast was awesome. See.
I still don't see best episode ever. But
somebody type that in quickly. Type in best episode ever.
I gotta go now. I gotta go do Eagle Fang Karate.
All right, you go do your Eagle Fang Karate, and I will talk to you later. All right, everyone. Bye,
Mike,
Bob.
Remind me tomorrow morning if I'm not on in time.
I will. All right. See
you guys.
Best episode ever. It's there. Thank you, Sashi. All right. Thank you. Sorry, now I'm in a better mood. Oh. Small Mike is back. Thanks, Bob. I'll let him know. Boy, so let's take a look at this. Gosh, ARK's gonna just open horribly tomorrow. So, what do we have today? This was a interesting trading. So I just want to review a couple things. S&P. This was a valid little double top in the morning. Came back down. Again, trading just below to some new lows, taking out yesterday's lows, and then back and forth. And this is why I watch for these clear paths. You see this clear path going down, and then you go back into that area. You have the clear path going back up, essentially to the breakdown zone, and then stalling out. Tomorrow we do. Now, this could get invalidated. I'm just pointing it out because if we do rally when it opens back up and we hold up, we do have a potential very short-term double. This is now a valid double. It did not come back down enough to invalidate it yet. All right. So that would be above 40, 65, 50, 41, 17, 41, 44, 41, 69. That's the only potential bullish thing I have, and you can see it even here on the 4 hour. And what would be interesting on that 4 hour is if it does not get invalidated, and technically it could pull back on a 4 hour basis and make two bottoms in here and still potentially work. It gets very sloppy, but I will watch it because it's the only bottoming pattern we have, and these can be good target areas. But the 4 hour rotation zone would be out of the way. That's why I'm paying attention to it. So that's about it right now. Let's just see on the daily again. Even that triggered, it would just slam. You see the second target would just take us to the prior breakdown zone and into the rotation zone, and then a potential rollover. So I'm not calling for anything based off this. I'm not even saying it has to trigger. So I'm not obviously not calling for. I'm calling for a potentially soft, very soft bottom here. This would just be a quick play into the rotation zone and then a potential another rollover. And could we get another potential bottoming pattern? Yeah, but we're going to have to see. Then again, based off today, this is why I keep stressing tactile trading. This is the friggin' markets we are in right now. Okay, you get speaker on speaker, you get headlines coming across, you just get back and forth. You get, we're doing 2 more hikes and pausing, we're doing this. So if worse than expected can rally, better than expected can sell off. That's all we're sitting with right now. Nasdaq again, this was a valid double top, even with this little hitch in there. Coming back down first and second targets. You can see Nasdaq, this is now a still valid potential double bottom, and by tomorrow the rotation zone would be out of the way. You'd need to move above 12,547, preferably a close, then 12,769, 12,880, 12,991. Doesn't even take us back to 13,000. And the second target is right to the breakdown zone. And doesn't here, even on these harmonics, let me zoom in here. See I know there's a lot on this chart, but see, this is the 50% harmonic right here. Hold on. This is the 50% right above the rotation zone in the 62.5. And what do we watch for a potential rollover move? Rotation zone in between the 50 and 62.5. So this could easily pop up. Even if this pattern's invalidated, we could still get a pop. I mean, this would be a rollover play. Weekly, by the way, weekly cycle still trying to put in a bottom, but nothing yet. Dow completed the double from yesterday on the open and then just tanked, which is also why you use the double targets. You don't try to grab for more. And then you just had this disaster of back and forth price action. Overnight, let me just go back to the S&P. If we do break down again, 39.48, 39.49, and then I'll be watching 39.28 to 39.35. Nasdaq, if we came back down, I'd be watching yesterday's lows about roughly 12,100. If we broke through there, 12,046 in major, 11,957 to 11,991. Russell not even doing anything, spiking down through the next harmonic. I'm going to have to update some of this for tomorrow morning after hours. I'm just trying to get through the information with hopefully not losing internet and power again. Russell, see back in the rotation zone, rotating down. There's a lot of overhead resistance, so I'm not really looking to anything with the Russell right now. If it did rally, I'm on the DAX. Did I click there's the Russell. Russell on a rally, 1837. The DAX still longer term bearish. If it does rally, 13,800. And then 13,970 would be another rollover play. Crude, we did have a potential double that never triggered and then went lower. I'm sitting on my hands at crude. This is actually with this pullback. We had a high probability the lows were in, but I'm going to see how it reacts to this low test if we continue to pull back tomorrow. So I'm, again, sitting on hands with crude. Gold breaking down, not yet completely invalidating that double, but I'm hands off for the time being. Now, what's interesting with gold and silver, the spot market, the physical market is still super strong. What's interesting, we're having a major divergence with the physical market. Silver double off the table. So I'm, again, not doing anything, stepping aside for the time being. Silver is getting to the point where I might have to lighten and then re-add lower if we don't get the bounce soon. Because this is just getting blistered, but the physical market's not budging. Talked to a couple people today. I mean, we're off like pretty big for the last I mean, what's this? Down about 20%, and the physical market hasn't budged at all. So that should tell you something. Notes. Again, the key area I'm watching tomorrow is the daily rotation zone and a close above 119.11. That's it for a continued bull case. If we roll back over, remember we are still in the rotation zone. I'll start watching for that bottoming pattern again. Dollar index still holding up right here. It'll be really interesting to see if what happens to that tomorrow with the inflation. The VIX, we had this little topping pattern in here, coming down to the first target, moving back up, not invalidating, and coming back down to the first target again. So I'm going to keep an eye on this unless it gets invalidated overnight. Tesla was interesting. Got a question today based off the gap stuff. And by the way, there is a potential double in Tesla. And I've stated this before, but I will reiterate. We got the close below the 62.5 you see here on the 5-minute. What, right here, catching on the 75, what invalidates it? The only thing that invalidates it is taking out this high bar intraday. Other than that, it still favors the gap fill. I tested every other level, okay? Because you can get moves like this. Every other level the statistics fell apart unless it made new highs for this. Okay, so yes, you can get a whipsaw move, but it's still, with that close below the 62.5, favors the gap fill. Does that make it a little more challenging to trade? Yes, but that's the only thing that statistically remained in place. So just wanted to point that out. And with Tesla, again, this will just be a short-term pop back into the 4-hour rotation zone and back potentially to the breakdown zone. So if markets rally, if Nasdaq rallies, there might be an short-term upside play in Tesla before the next major rollover. Okay, just wanted to point that one out too. Unity is just, again, after hours, look at this. Oh, that hurts. Back below even the next harmonic. This is just, I mean, I don't even have a price projection at this point until we go down. Let's see. We have to now drop it to the next pausing area, and that was here. And let's see where that is. Other than that, I don't even have anything. 2768. So we can see if that bounces over there. Anything still with Unity would be a sell, especially a strong rally would be selling it. Again, you see this crap. Why do you not see a P to E ratio? Because they have no earnings. And this is the stuff that's finally getting the crap kicked out of it. Remember, the unprofitable tech index has essentially got round turn from if you look at Bloomberg's unprofitable tech index, it's essentially gone round turn from the COVID lows. So unprofitable tech companies are just getting obliterated now. They have no earnings. And the other couple that here's Roblox. Roblox again closed pretty much at the next harmonic, and now it's lower. Not as bad as other stuff, but lower. The next level isn't until 969, the next major level. So could you see that? Yeah. Again, and look at the P to E ratio. We're in smack the growth stocks, especially unprofitable growth stocks. So whenever I see this, I'm not stepping in front of these things. Could this continue much lower? Yeah. And then we have, last but not least, Coinbase down to 61. And Coinbase, now we have to do the full-blown projection. And the next level of that is not till 47.50. And that just got obliterated too. Now, Coinbase does have a P to E. But look at this. Look at this. Estimate was pretty much flat. We'll just go with flat. They lost a $1.98 earnings per share. Look at that surprise percentage. Revenue, they missed by 22%. That is absolutely brutal. So please, I mean, yeah, can you get a bounce in some of these? Yeah, but they're just for rollover plays. Don't stand in front. And by the way, they're trying to do everything they can to shore up Terra, but longer term, it's just going to blow. And we're going to have other stable coins blow. And this thing, you're going to easily see 20K, if not below, even on a rally. Even if they, I know Tether was trying to print again out of thin air. Even on a rally, if it can get back to 34.4, it's just another rollover play. So please be wise with your crypto plays. Don't know what they are, but don't be silly with them, because these things can really blow up if we get another major push down in the markets. And now we're even at a higher correlation between crypto and even the S&P. The correlation's over 60% with the S&P. All right? It's not trading independently. Yeah, Roblox lost. What did they lose? Let's see. I have to see what they lost. I was just gonna, let's see. The earnings worse than expected, and a revenue minus 118%, or 118 million miss, 18% miss. Ugly. Mike, Apple closed below 62.5 but not fill the gap. Can you check? Maybe the day's high is taken out a bit, so is Microsoft. Remember, it doesn't have to. Let's see. Gap. I actually. So here was the gap. Yesterday came back down, invalidated on this high. But now you need another close below this before I'd start targeting. Actually, I wouldn't start targeting until at this point below 153. Is the gap play 100%? No. It's in the upper 70%. So can it be wrong? Yes. No. Yes. Yesterday with this, it was wrong with Apple. You still have people buying Apple like no tomorrow. So yesterday's did prove wrong with this rally. But if you break below this base, then it was going to be, I just use that as an intraday play for Apple. Microsoft, this, you know, when something gets this close, by the way, you got to trail out, because you have people that will still buy this kind of high. So once you get below the 87.5, just trail your stop down, so you're not going to take a hit if it does get this kind of stupid reversal pattern. That's some little advice. That's what I personally do. So start targeting below this close. And then if we get a key reversal off of here, I at least get my stop to break even. So if we get a pretty substantial reversal off of there, I'm out. Apple came out today with reports of China inventory down, and so are sales. But yeah, I did see something like that. But again, it's Q2 is going to be so bad. I completely agree. Q2 earnings, you're going to see a bloodbath. You could see a bloodbath in Q2 earnings. So that's what I think could be the next major tipping point for a substantial down leg that could push us really into that bear market bottom eventually. You're welcome, Genomics Stop. Q2 Tesla may have a huge miss with, I completely agree. Possibly unprofitable quarter, and Tesla could be, yeah, if they actually have deliveries meet, it would be complete at this point with the Shanghai shutdown and everything else. It would just be pure and simple blatant fraud. because there's no way with now they have supply issues with trying to restart the lines and everything else. It's just going to get very interesting. That's why you're going to have to stick around for the podcast for at least through the summer. All right. I'm going to wrap this up for now. Sorry it's a little shorter. I just don't want to mess around getting it cut off tonight with internet and power issues. So I will be here in the chair ready for tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's a good point, Waka Waka. On top of all this, the dollar sales abroad converted into strong U.S. dollar. Big losses just due to converting into U.S. dollar. Completely agree. It's going to get very interesting. You are welcome, Wavy. Again, if I missed your comment, I'm sorry. It was just been one of those days. I got to give another shout out again to Lauren for the $50 super sticker. Again, thank you for helping support the channel. I really appreciate everyone. Hopefully all the tech issues will be resolved by tomorrow morning and everything goes smoothly. Soon enough, Elon will show up and give you power. I don't think Elon's going to give me anything. Thank you, Waka Waka. All right. Bye for now, everyone.